Good morning. I'm Laura Jaramillo, the city manager, and we're taping the Coffee with the Manager so we can give you a report and update on things happening at the City of Grants. Of course, due to the coronavirus, many of our projects and meetings and activities are on hold. The City of Grants is working very closely with the state and our county and Village of Milan to adhere to the governor's directives to stay at home and par down to essential services. So that being said, our city council meetings, we're going to start live streaming them. One of our staff members is prepared. We have a meeting tonight. It is April 2nd, and our meeting starts at 6 o'clock. We will be live streaming the meeting and videotaping for our community to be able to view later. If individuals have questions they want to ask, they can email those questions in ahead of time and get those questions on the docket to be answered by the council. Our councilmen will be, two of our new councilmen will be sworn in tonight at 5:30. We are not open to the public for our meeting, and probably will not be for at least the month of April, and we'll have to see how May pans out. The two new will be sworn in, that is Eric Garcia and Fred Rodarte. And then once the meeting starts, one of the things on the agenda will be to select a new mayor pro tem. So the council will nominate and vote on a new mayor pro tem. A mayor pro tem is the individual that's in charge if in the absence of the mayor, and who also facilitates meetings in the absence of the mayor. Another agenda item will be for them to assign the various council members to community boards. There are a few boards in our community and region that we participate on, and so they will take assignments to participate on those. And then one of the important items is we're going to have a resolution declaring an emergency. Initially, we do fall under the county's emergency declaration and the state of New Mexico's declaration. It was recommended to municipalities that they make their own declaration so that for emergency funds, we might have easier and quicker access to resources as we proceed with this emergency at this time. So we'll do that. Part of our emergency declaration, what it's going to allow us to do is, one of the items we put in there is that we would not charge late fees to customers. So currently we take water payments, trash, water, sewer payments, and we're anticipating those who have lost their jobs are hurting financially due to the coronavirus, may not be able to make payments on time. So we're going to waive late fees. We're also waiving late fees for our hotels who submit lodgers tax funds. And so we've been in communication. The other thing that it allows is for us to, for the city manager to be authorized to enter into mutual aid agreements with other agencies. So as we proceed and we need resources and need to work together, we can, I can authorize those emergency mutual aid agreements without trying to convene the city council. In addition, our emergency declaration is allowing us to par down our staff to essential services and limit the number of staff working in the office. And so initially, when this came about, we initiated an action plan. I've been working closely with the county manager, the village manager, and the hospital, and the emergency manager. And we've been in communication discussing action plans and ways to proceed through this. So the hospital came up with a great plan of action that we were able to use as a template. And it started out with the first stage where we would start doing, adhering to personal hygiene, encouraging our staff to wash their hands, cleaning our workspaces more often and with sanitizers and things like that to try to eliminate spread of germs. And then we went on to where we were making accommodations for individuals who were affected by the school closure. So we started looking at what do we need to do for those who have children in school and now they have no form of daycare. So we made work accommodations for those individuals. Then the next step, as we started having cases in Cibola County, we started making arrangements for our staff members who might have compromised immune systems to be able to work from home or other avenues so that they were not being exposed as much. Then finally, based on the governor's recommendations, we pared down to essential crews. And so, of course, for the city of Grants, our essential crews are our fire, police, our animal care center, our, let's see, I have a big long list. We have our finance department still on board in a skeletal crew. Our utility payment department is on a skeletal crew. And our streets department is still out there working on potholes and various things that are coming up. And we have our pipe and water crew out there as well. The wastewater treatment plant is still operating as usual. They typically have 4 staff. I believe they have 3 that are on board that have to do the readings and testings and make sure the plant's working correctly. So we've pared down to what we consider bare essential and then trying to keep all of those staff as protected as possible. We've been posting announcements on our webpage and on our Facebook page to update the public, trying to provide resources for the community as well. There is some financial assistance available to small businesses and to citizens, to those who have lost their jobs. So please look at our website to hear about any of that assistance that might be available. Those that have lost their jobs, if we get calls, I've been recommending that they get online and start applying for their unemployment. Our marketing director has been calling most of the local businesses just to touch base and see what the needs are and allow them to vent, if nothing else, as they're dealing with this stressful time. We're starting to get a few calls from citizens that sound rather desperate and are very concerned about loss of jobs and other things that are happening to them during this time. So we have posted on our website and on our Facebook page some mental health resources, some hotlines that people can call just to vent, to gain some feeling of hope and where they might need to get resources. So we want to make sure to handle that. And that kind of brings up that we do have, as a community, I think it's going to be really important that we all reach out and try to help and do what we can. There are many that have lost their job or lost business, and so let's be available for each other to each maybe do a little bit to help those that might be needing resources. They need groceries or need a utility bill paid so they can keep things running. And that brings up a point. We will not be shutting waters off during this time. We'll be giving our customers a chance to catch up on their bills and see how we can try to minimize the devastation as we move forward. So our senior center is still producing some services for our community. They are providing transportation for essential needs such as going to the doctor or picking up groceries. So they're screening those calls to make sure they're essential. Then they're also providing the meals for seniors. So those that were already on home delivered meals, those are continuing. And then those that were coming to the center to get meals, they are able to drive up and get a to-go meal in the parking lot. So we wanted to make sure you know those are available. You are supposed to call at least the day ahead to let them know you're going to be wanting a meal. This way they know how many to prepare. In addition, I believe through some state resources, we are going to be having food boxes that are going to be distributed from the senior center or through the senior center for seniors. And I don't know all the details to that, but please watch our website or call the senior center or the City of Grants if you are interested or need a food box. Those will be coming soon, and we may be asking for volunteers to help us distribute those. So thank you.
I have a question that we need to answer, and this is for the Grants Community Pantry. They need volunteers. With the system that they have in, it's taking them a long time to process, and there are more people coming in for their services for the distribution. So we need volunteers at the Grants Community Pantry. So I don't know if you got that, Jimmy, or if you need to make that announcement, but we do need volunteers, and the need is tremendous there right now.
That is true, and I think as we go forward in the next few weeks and the next month, that will be very important that those that are able volunteer to help out in some way. We're going to have to pull our resources together.
A couple of questions that are we see a number of communities that are using their parks. People are getting out and walking. What is the response to someone going to the park or getting out and walking in our community?
Well, I understand that that is allowable, and I don't think that's been prohibited, but the prohibition has been gatherings of 5 or more. And so that's what we're really trying to encourage, is that if, of course, if you have a family of 6, you're all living in the same household. So I think people are seeing, I saw somebody was complaining that there were 2 kids out riding a bike, but those 2 children might live in the same house. They might be brothers. And so we have to understand that just because we see kids out riding their bikes doesn't mean they're not social distancing. Maybe they live in the same household and they're already exposed to each other. So, but we are encouraging people not to gather in the parks. We have not given any permits. My code enforcement asked, and I said we will not give any permits for the month of April, and then we're going to play it by ear and see if we can open that up in May, where people could have their birthday parties or events in the park. But right now we've put that to a stop. I know the state police are really the authority over the governor's directives, and so they have been coming around and putting notices, educating, mainly educating. They're not giving citations at this point, but they are educating and passing out information, encouraging people to social distance. And so that the reason people are being encouraged to social distance is so that we can slow down the spread. And so I think we realize that we may not be able to stop it fully, but we can slow it down. And so the purpose of that, I understand, is so that we don't overwhelm our medical facilities with so many sick individuals at one time.
And this is off topic. We at one of our previous meetings, the Red Lion was mentioned, and now I see that the Leisure Motel is empty. Do you have any status on those 2 businesses?
I do not. I know the city was receptive to sponsoring IRB bonds for the Red Lion project. I think, a lot of that is on hold right now. Everybody's focusing on other priorities at this point.
Well, I know that it's been said that if we stay healthy and well, when this is over, they're going to need healthy people to come back and work. And so that's really important also. Now, what about just taking a walk out in your neighborhood? Is that permitted?
Yes, it is. Yes. So, and I've seen that quite a lot. I know I've seen many people out walking, usually 1 or 2 people. I saw one group, I believe, yesterday evening, but they were grandma, mom, and the kids. And so they were a family that lived together.
Okay.
Yes.
And how is your staff dealing with this, the stress of this?
Well, of course, they're scared, they're stressed, there's lots of worries. It's, of course, the most difficult for the essential staff that have to be on board and have that exposure, but they've really pulled together and, they're trying to reassure each other, and I haven't heard a lot of complaints, and so that's wonderful.
Okay. Now, economic development is really critical that we continue this, and I know that Eileen Yarbrough, I get confirmations from her, she's still working on economic development and the census. So what are we doing as a city to encourage the response to the census questionnaire?
Well, I think at this point, our staff were helping the county get out and visit communities. They can't do that anymore to educate, so we're posting stuff on our online resources and just encouraging people, reminding them how important it is to fill out the census. I think hopefully in May or June, we'll be able to do a little bit more as far as putting on events to sponsor that, maybe help individuals get online. But at this point, we're just passing out the information and encouragement.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to you yesterday about something I heard, and this was from a psychologist that was being interviewed, and his comment stated, "Today is a good day." And we need to keep that in mind as we're healthy and we're moving forward. Today is a good day.
That's right. I'd like to introduce Dustin Middleton, who is our emergency manager with the county, and he's going to give a little report as well.
Good morning. My name is Dustin Middleton. I'm the Cibola County Emergency Manager and Fire Marshal. Ms. Fletcher had sent me over here to kind of do a little PR as far as social distancing. So with that being said, Cibola County has earned an F grade for social distancing. People are not adhering to the governor's advice or orders as far as keeping at least 6 feet away, no shaking hands, things of that nature, and it's causing a big problem. As you're seeing, our cases are starting to go up. As of yesterday, we had a total of 363 confirmed COVID-19 cases around the state, with 2 new ones attributed to Cibola County. We also had another death as of yesterday. I believe it was from Sandoval County. So we're asking all the residents to do their part in partaking in social distancing. All New Mexicos have been instructed to stay home except for outings that are absolutely necessary for the health, safety, and welfare of the community. So Cibola County is constantly updating their website. It's cibolanm.com that our PIO is constantly putting up-to-date information on. We're also putting out flyers that should be coming out within the next few days regarding social distancing. And there are also the phone numbers provided by the state attached to that. If you think you have symptoms or are showing signs of the COVID-19, it gives you the instructions on what you need to do. We're trying to do this to limit the amount of people that are going to our hospitals because they're starting to get overtaxed. I know that McKinley County and I believe Bernalillo County both have some temporary hospitals set up specifically for the overload. McKinley County is getting bombarded by Navajo Nation residents as they are fully quarantined in a couple of their little areas.
So I'll be closing out this session of the Coffee with the Manager, and I'm wishing everybody well and stay safe and healthy.